Hello, good evening, and Jai Hind. I am
Jai Hind.
Major Mohammed Ali Shah. I am going to be in conversation with Mr. HRH Lenn, who is from the Kuki Inpi Lhangsam. Lhangsam, he will explain to us what Lhangsam is, basically, and he's the person who's supposed to provide information, who has got a lot of inputs, a lot of information, basically. Something like in the press, in the media, we have a lot of information, right? Similarly, like that. Now, let's hear his views. He has a lot of inputs. He is very well connected. He has a lot of inputs about how he thinks could be the way forward to bring peace in a beautiful state like Manipur. And before that, let me just say, I just want to take this opportunity to make a small statement that today Maldives is trending everywhere. People are saying Maldives, Maldives, Lakshadweep. How about our own northeast part of India, the most beautiful place in the world? I would say that Manipur, Nagaland,
Mhm.
Mizoram, Tripura. I've traveled across the length and breadth of the country. There's not a single state in the country I've not been. I've gone to various other countries on my TEDx talks and various other talks. But I've gone on work. If you want to see the beauty, real beauty, come and meet people from the northeast part of India. Like I can vouch for it. They're the best people you'll ever find with heart of gold. On that note, let's welcome Lenn. Lenn, thank you very much for spending time. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I gave a small sermon, but it was an issue which I thought it was required to be addressed. That's why.
That's perfectly fine, Ali. Thank you for welcoming me to the show. I'm Lenn Chongloi, but then I would prefer HRH Lenn. I'm the Lhangsam of Kuki Inpi. Basically, cookies can be said to live in a big village. And in the village, the chief used to be called the Hausa or the Inpi. Then there used to be a minister who looks after the entire administration. He's called a Semang. And the information and relationship between various villages and neighboring villages, all that information, everything to do with publicity, calling a meeting, recording, everything used to be done by the Lhangsam. Basically, Lhangsam is a person who shouts from to the valley or who calls a meeting or something of that sort, literally. But then in the modern context, you can combine the job of information, publicity, relationship, building up all that. So there's another portfolio called the Pachong. Pachong could be perhaps in the village. He's a minister of defense. So uh, or maybe the home, right? And so if it was a cookie government, Amit Shah would have been the Pachong, right? Home. And Rajnath Singh would have been Pachong defense. And I don't know what I would be. I would probably the EAM or maybe that. But then we are like a part of India. We are loyal citizens of India. So we have given the responsibility of governance to the government of India. So we go as in charge of information and all that. So I don't know. There is no government that exists in the hills of Manipur. I don't know what we are going to do. But then yes, we are doing our best to be a loyal citizen of this country. But we have grievances, and rightfully so, because we're citizens of India and you're indigenous to this land. I mean, the folklores that we have of Garngam and people that we thought were folklores, they were mostly historical figures. And our lives are tied to Manipur, the northeast, and India. And then we have people across the diaspora spread across the globe. But then we have also some of our people living in Myanmar and in Chittagong Hill Tract. But the people they call, infiltrators and illegals are basically people who are like of the soil in Manipur. And that seems to me quite unfair. And if you look at who is indigenous, according to the UN Constitution, we are. And then some of them are not. But then I'm not here to debate on that. But yes, I think it is good to start with some of the principles that Kukinpi kind of, follows. We believe in peaceful coexistence. We believe in justice for all. And for Manipur, Kuki Inpi is the head, the apex body of the Kuki Inpi in Manipur, but I'm from the Kuki Inpi, not the Manipur one. But they also have this stated principle that they would protect the integrity of Manipur. But how do you protect the integrity of Manipur when the integrity of your own daughters, your own life is not safe? So those are issues, and we have never wanted this kind of problem. This has been thrust upon us, but then somehow we are praying for peace to come. I mean, most of us are people who wants peace. So let's pray. I mean, I think Moray is a pain point right now, but hopefully there'll be sense that prevails in Infal, and Mr. Biren has to wake up. He has failed us. He has failed the citizens of this state. And Amit Shah ji has to really assess his role. I mean, his role model is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and he has to see how he match up to him. And the Prime Minister, I still respect him. He hasn't spoken, so I don't know how to evaluate him. But I have full faith on the Prime Minister because he hasn't spoken up. We are dying, and Meiteis are also dying. But how do they die? They come and attacked us, so they die. But then us, we were lynched on the open street in the capital city of a state where we built it together. So these are painful things because I don't have a home today. I'm an IDP. But does that make me, lose courage? Does that make me hate the Meiteis? No. I'm hoping for peace to come, but at what cost? But justice has to be served first. But my people, the tears of my niece, my nephews, my brothers who have been beheaded, we don't believe in this government who can, attack us in the capital city when they should have been protecting us. So the minimum is like we need a space. I don't call it a state or a UT. Perhaps a UT is what the negotiation is all about. But we need a space, or it could be a state or a UT where we would be protected. The state would do its job, right? The state is supposed to protect its citizens, not go and burn their houses or not let others lynch them. There are always elements within society who are bad, who are rogues. The state is supposed to, the majority is supposed to protect the minorities, and the state is supposed to safeguard the life and property of the minorities or the people, the citizens. That is not happening in Manipur. That is the sad part. Yeah, Ali, over to you.
Thank you. No, and Len, you mentioned you're from the Kuki Inpi and not from the Manipur one. I would just like to know the difference between the Kuki Inpi and the Manipur one that you mentioned, sir.
See, the Kuki structure is such, if you think of a big village, so the chief is called the Kumpi, right? And then under him is the Semang, and under him is the Lhangsam and the Pachongs. And there are, say, various sectors within that village. Maybe we call it Wangs or we call it regions. Like in our case, we can say the states. In the state of Nagaland, they have Kukinpi Nagaland. In the state of Assam, they have Kukinpi Assam. In the state of Manipur, Kukinpi Manipur is perhaps the apex body, and then also the strongest body. So people confuse between Kuki Inpi
Just for
and
my
Kuki
understanding,
Inpi Manipur.
you
But
mentioned in
all
Nagaland,
of
they,
this, all of these INPs, they
right.
form and then they come under the Kuki INP, right? Kuki INP is like perhaps you can say in a village is possibly the traditional government of the Kukis, right? The chief, there's always one chief, and various villages in the village, various wangs or sectors are looked after by a different person. So the various states are called Gamkais, right? Gamkai INP, Manipur is one, Assam is one, Delhi maybe have, Meghalaya we have, and we have it in this thing US, we have it in other places, right? So all these come together and then comes under that umbrella called the Cookie NP. It's like, in a way, you can say it's a traditional governance structure where we have, a gelling or a way of coming together in the form of, reporting, understanding, coordinating, that kind of a thing, right? So yeah, so that way, every cookie NP also has an NP, NPPU, who is the head of that state. And then he also has his ministers, the Semangs, the Pachongs, and the Lhangsam. So the structure is the same. So at the top, there is the cookie NP, and then in the states, we have the cookie NP Manipur, cookie NP Assam, like that. So that is how we are structured. That has been how we were from traditional times. So our unit of administration starts from the village. So in the village, it mirrors the same structure. So the Hausa or the chief is called Inpipu, and then the administration is run by the Semang. Information and relation between villages and how things go about, that is done by the Lhangsam. And then the defense and also how things go about, that is done by the Pachongs. is run by the Pachong. So that is the structure, basically the governance structure of a Kuki village, and that is mirrored in the bigger sectors, and that's how state, then whatever internationally or whatever. So, and then there's one role that people don't normally talk about. It is the Hausapi, the wife of the Inpi Nu. It's a role of a woman. It's very strong. Uh, Basically, woman empowerment is something that was there embedded in the system, but then over a period of time things have changed. But then I think that was a very good system. So yeah, that is one unique structure among the Kuki villages, and most of the kinship tribes, they have something similar like the Inpui among the Mars, and then I think it must be the same among my brethren Mizos in Mizoram and all that. So that's how the village governance structure was. So yeah, that is what it is. Yeah.
You mentioned that you don't hate the Maithis. I was very happy to hear that. And could you? So you must be
I don't.
having a lot of. Yes.
But
So
if they come to my house, and if they come to my house and try to rape my sisters, and then if they want to kill my family, what will I do?
right,
I told the Meiteis, cookies are the Vikings of the East, because when we don't agree, we fight among ourselves, but when we are attacked, we come together. We are
right,
fierce. That's what we are.
right.
Then we are people who want peace, and we are not barbaric. That's what we are made out to be, but we are not.
Exactly. That's a very, very good point you mentioned. People who are not from the Northeast, who are not familiar with the Northeast part of India, like in Delhi, for example, they will like what you mentioned was a very, very good point you mentioned. In fact, you're made out to be with people. I don't know from where those stories have emerged or whatever people talk about. They don't know because they've never been that side. They don't know about the culture. They're made out to be. It's a very important message for all our viewers who are listening. Please, I love the northeast part of India. I love the people there. Every tribe, every community, every village, every place, and they are just we made out to be that way. What you think, and you got to seeing is believing, right? And you have to believe me, who is not from the northeast part of India, but who considers himself emotionally to be from the northeast part of India. So, Len, you also mentioned that but you said that you don't hate the Maiti. But of course, what you said that if someone comes, anyone, it need not be any Maiti, anyone comes to anyone's house to attack with an ill intention anywhere in the world. So, of course, one has to defend. That's a different thing altogether. So, tell me, since you made the statement that you don't hate the Maithis also. I mean, that's a and I was very happy to hear that. So tell me, you would must be having friends who are Maithis as well. Have you tried communicating with them? Have you tried to come forward and bring to give peace a chance?
I would, but then Ali, when you are the one who is being attacked, you're so busy with your life trying to defend your lives. I don't know who to call up. I mean, if any of my Meitei friends call me, I will pick up the call. I have no problem. Even one of the Mira Paibi's head of Manipur used to be like a mother to me. I don't talk to her these days. Maybe if I meet her, I'll talk to her. Maybe over the phone, maybe we'll talk.
Yeah,
But then what do I tell her?
yeah, I know.
What do I tell her? I tell her, Mom, Mother, Iman, whatever you're doing is wrong. I would tell her. How would that sound to her? But then, see, I don't see it the problem per se as, Meiteis as a whole attacking us, but then there is definitely a policy behind the attacks, the policy of trying to grab the land and then trying to mix up religion into the whole mix so that there's a lot of confusion. But if you look at it personally, I have met some Meiteis in the indigenous forum. How do I run away from them? I mean, like they don't attack me in Guwahati or they don't attack me in Delhi. We just meet. We say the problem in Manipur is bad. How do we solve it? That's what we have talked. But then, how do I solve it? I mean, like I have not been given an official capacity, but as a human being, as a peacenik, I want peace. But when the situation is created by the CM, where he sends the commandos to More and provoking us, and then trying to breach the boundaries which the government of India through the army and also through the home minister is setting up. There are buffer zones. They're not respecting that. Even that is the case, then we have to fight back, right? We have to defend. because we also have a fear that if the defense lines are breached, they have shown what they are capable of. They have been lynching. In this war, what I have lost, Ali. Tonsing's father was in Guwahati.
Joshia, Joshia and Singh.
He was in Guwahati, and he
You're
cried
talking
like
about
a
Tonsing, the
baby.
7-year-old boy, right?
Tonsing is my nephew.
Whose aunt was
Yes,
Lydia and mother was Kuki.
and
Okay.
a few days back, I sent off the uncle of Olivia. Olivia and Florence.
I know
They're from
all.
my family,
I know. Okay, okay.
and I
I've
haven't never
had
met.
the honor of interviewing Florence.
And
I've
then,
interviewed Florence.
then the three women who were lynched in Uripok. The oldest,
Hmm.
the mother was deaf and dumb, and then the two aunties. That grandmother used to hold me when I was sick in Rims when I was young. So I personally have gone through a lot of trauma myself. But is that enough? No. Have I ever met David Trek? No. But then he's a brother to me. And maybe yes, in the Meitei side there could be people who have suffered, but we don't know. I mean, it is sad that we only know our pain. But as far as this war goes, the kind of lynching, the kind of attack that is being done, it kind of seems disproportionate and one-sided, which our Meitei brothers won't like it, but it seems so, right? But then in the media, the projected thing is that we are barbaric, we are illegals, they're coming from Myanmar and all that. But if you look at real history, the Meitei kings were set up by the Kuki chiefs. And it is said in the Chaithrul Kumpapa, the mother of the first king supposedly is a Chotheg woman. That is for them to research. I'm not a scholar. I mean, I'm not a scholar in the sense of historical that thing, but I know a lot of history. But most of our history are oral. So the relation between the Meitei kings and the Kuki chiefs was one of helping out one another, mutual assistance and mutual respect. What has happened? What has happened to their grandson, the last king, the titular king? Has he lost his head? He wants to be relevant. That is where the problem of Manipur is. So, Ali, I was asked in Delhi, what is the problem of Manipur? I wanted to answer that to that person. We didn't have much time. I wanted to answer to that person in one word. And I've been thinking about it, and I found the answer after 1 month. The problem in Manipur is just one word, Meitei. Meitei is a problem. They have to solve the Meitei problem. Why I tell you? See, Meiteis are the majority. They've been looking after the entire state in terms of what we should do and how we should be as Manipuris. Now they've been told by some political leaders that Meiteis are at risk, and Meiteis, the lands are shrinking, all the lands are with the Nagas and Kukis. And then in the next future, what will they do? So they created a fear which is based on a lie. So the Meiteis, if you're a journalist, they don't think like a journalist anymore. They think like a Meitei interest first. Even if you are a religious person, they don't think of that religion. They think of a Meitei interest first. So they forgot that they were the glue that hold the Manipuri society together. So that's when the Manipuri thing fall apart. And that's why they killed us because they think we are no more a Manipuri. They look at us only as a Kuki. And cookies, if cookies are not indigenous to Manipur, who is? Who is? Because most of some of the cookie Meiteis are also cookies. You know that? The Sogayams are from the Kuki clan. And I'm told in
Who,
Kakching
who,
and
who,
this
who,
thing, the
who?
Sogayams,
Okay.
if you go to Infal, there's a clan called Sogayams. They are from the cookies, and it is also told to me by professor of ancient history. He told me that some of the Kuki clans and even the Nagas, they used to be forced by the Meitei kings that please don't go to the hills anymore. You stay here. You become a part of us. And some of them used to kind of be in the you know service of the king, or they were friendly with the king and they became Meiteis. So what is a Meitei basically? I
Then
think
you mentioned that you take a lot of keen interest in history, and a lot of your history is oral, in fact. So you mentioned
yeah, I
about the
do.
clan from the.
The
You
problem
mentioned
is
that.
people not knowing what they're talking about. Yes,
Okay. So
you ask
so
them.
the
You
fact,
ask the Sugayams. They are a part of the
right,
Singson clan, or
right.
Singson clan in the
So
cookies.
okay. So the very fact of history, it has to be documented somewhere for people to believe actually that okay, as a why okay, it has to be documented. So what you mentioned, Do you think it's documented anywhere?
Ali, I would put history in this way. Before we learn to write, everybody, even the slokas are, passed on by word of mouth. Now you can't say that they were not written before we learn how to write, so the slokas are wrong. No. These are historical evidences and oral traditions passed on from the times of the Moirang kingdom. The mother was in Moirang and then she brought the child to Infal or maybe some place and they become a part of the Meitei society. And why do I know that? Because the Sogayams comes to my uncle. They are Singson. They come and visit them every year. So we have a bond. We are one people. And why are they losing their heads? I don't know. They shouldn't. And many of you talk about my friends. Yes, I studied with them. I grew up with them. Most of my best friends are Meiteis. My best friends are Meiteis. What's gone wrong with their heads? But then I know they're also under a lot of pressure from. There is a minuscule element among the Meiteis. I call them the Nazi element among the Meiteis. They're no different from Nazis. They just want to annihilate a section of the population because, according to them, that is a problem. You don't annihilate a problem, you solve a problem.
You're right.
So,
You don't correct. You solve a problem. Well said. You solve a problem. Right.
so the problem is not us. The problem is not even drugs. The problem is a lie. The lies come from the top, from the CM's office.
Lie.
Created a fear among the
You
Meiteis
mentioned
that,
lie.
yes, Infal is 8 times the size of Singapore. It's a huge space. You go to Infal, you'll find a lot of empty spaces. Go to Singapore, you won't find an inch. Infal is 8 times the size of Singapore. And had the Meiteis wanted, land for orchard, the Cookies were very accommodating. The Cookie chiefs, even my grandfather is a great chief. There's a family called Kokchau. If they are there in Infal, let them listen. When they couldn't survive in Infal because they couldn't find a viable profession, they asked my grandfather, and they were treated as a family. They're called Kokchau family. They live in some place near this thing, Wahengbam Lekai. We're like family. Those arrangements were there. Suddenly, what happened? One RK Durendra or somebody from Meitei, this thing, Meitei World Council or something, started creating a lot of bullshit. And we cookies are also not responding to all those things. We should have responded. We should have taken them to the court. But हमारे भी ये है ना कि चलता है चलने दो. ये attitude is the thing that spoiled Manipur. It was a paradise. You show it yourself. I call it paradise lost. And there are no saints in Manipur. Meiteis, Pangans, Kukis, Nagas, some of them are all involved in the drug business. And I'm told, I have no evidence, but according to Brinda, the CM is the kingpin. I don't know, that has to be proved by the union government or, the agency that is supposed to investigate. It's a serious charge. She left her job because she accused the CM of being the kingpin. And she's not an ordinary lady, right? She's a top cop. And she left that job because she couldn't take that kind of, thing that is happening in the state of Manipur. Now, if Biren doesn't like what I'm saying, it's up to him. But then it is for him to refute that he's been charged by no other than Brinda. But I also feel like some people are involved. Some people. I mean, political class, they are no saint. Manipur mein Ali, most of us are common people. We just want to live our lives. And there is the poor, the powerful, and then the powerful. The powerful are the ones who do all those corruption. एक नौकरी लेने के लिए, एक पुलिस कांस्टेबल का नौकरी खरीदने के लिए
Hmm.
40 लाख देना होता है. How
Oh,
do the
don't tell
people
me.
tolerate that? Yes,
Oh, don't tell me. This way
I,
in
I
Manipur,
can't prove
please.
it. It's the same as you asking me whether you have a historical proof that some of the Meitei are from the Kuki clan. I can't prove it because it's oral. What is happening in the corridors of power is everybody's knowledge. But how do I prove it to you? I don't have a camera, but then they know it. We know it. It's happening. But then if you ask me to prove it, I'll probably have to snuck in a spy camera. But Ali, that is what is sad about Manipur. It's a beautiful place. People are basically very good, but gullible. I would put it that way, gullible.
You're very simple people. Yeah, that's what.
Very simple
Very,
people. And
very simple people. I
Dravidian
agree.
has made a mistake. While they are fighting for the post of the chief minister with the other section of his own party, maybe he should have taken a step back. some of the people who are trying to take away his seat might be supported by some cookie MLAs. I don't know. They have some funny thing going between themselves, and then the fight probably have burned us down. But then I'm telling you again, there is a section within the Meitei think tank who thinks that land has to be grabbed from the cookies or the tribals. That is where the problem is. Land is a big issue. उनको जमीन चाहिए और जमीन जमीन हड़पने के लिए जो भी करना है सबको मार डालो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है दैट इज व्हाट आई हैव कम टू ऑब्जर्व एंड दैट इज कम व्हाट माय रिसर्च shows they need to change their way they think we can share the land I mean we don't know if they don't want us to buy the land in Infal we'll give it back to them but those lands are not bought by us most of the lands that we have in Infal were gifted to us by the king my great great grandfather was a friend of the king Chandrakirtis
Okay.
so So a lot of things written by the intellectuals. Basically, we intellectuals should be very careful. We sometimes tend to be, manipulative. Our history in Manipur is manipulative. So I don't know. It's for the Meitei historians and the Kukis and also the other Indian historians and the world historians to really find out what really happened. The Meiteis are claiming to have the civilization started from 33 AD. I have guys in IIT Delhi. I'm also an engineer and MBA. I'm good in stats. We did the statistical model. It's not possible. If your civilization starts in 33 AD, the Meiteis would be 100 crores by now. It is not. So they might have been an offshoot of the Ahom prince who came to, this thing. And it is very clear in some of the writings that they are from the Pong state of Myanmar. I mean, the Thailand border. So who are they calling, non-indigenous? It is very clear in their own writings that they are not indigenous. They came from the Pong state. Some of them came from Sylhet. Let us live in peaceful coexistence, no? But our stories, just see, Ralngam, his footstep is in Tamenglong, a big stone. The Koirings, I'm a Chongloi. There are Chonglois among the Koirings. How old are Koirings in Manipur, The oldest kingdom among the Meiteis. Now they were not Meiteis before. They were Moirang people of Moirang. They had friendship with the Koirings. And I'm a Chongloi. I'm as old as Manipur. Now I don't know about other people. Some of our it's called a wave theory. Some of our people might have come from Mizoram side by 1800s, 1700s. I don't know. People migrate. It was a vast tract of land. But why do they migrate? Because they were relatives and there were people who owned those lands who belongs to their own brothers. Now don't come and tell me you migrated from some place in Sylhet. The Bamons, when did they come to Manipur? Only after Vaishnavism. When was Vaishnavism? So we are talking a lot of rubbish. Let us be peaceful. Let us coexist. Let us grow together. That is what India is. India is a land of minorities, not majorities. Even among the Hindus, the right-thinking Hindus who wouldn't want the ideology of this ruling party. They are a minority. You don't have to be a Muslim, a Christian to be a minority. You can be a Hindu and be a minority because what you believe and your principles are not aligned with the measure popular voice. Those things are there, Ali. You sound sleepy now. Anyway, I want to talk about More.
No, I'm not sleepy. I'm not
Okay,
sleepy
that's
at all.
okay.
No, I'm not sleepy at all. No. In fact, I can go on for hours talking on Manipur. I'm so deeply
No, no,
attached
I
and
know because it's late, and I also came back late. But then, see, Manipur, I choked whenever I talk about those children, those girls being, killed in a way you wouldn't expect animals to be butchered. All right. I mean, when they opened the door where Olivia and Florence, they were friends in life and they died together. They were friends in death. So to
Oh,
me,
you're talking
their
about that
story
Florence.
is
Okay, okay, Olivia and Florence. I mean, they came on.
Florence Chongloy and
They
Florence
came. They
Chongloy,
came on Karan Thakur's
Olivia
show as
Chongloy
well.
and Florence Hansing.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in
Okay,
one of
now,
the
now I get
write-ups
it.
that I have
These two
read, they
girls,
said,
right?
yeah, they said when they opened the garage door, you can smell blood, tears, hair, and bruised muscle. That's what they wrote. I think that's quite a vivid description of what they've seen. And whatever we hear now is from the accounts of her friends. It is very sad, Ali, because we were, Infal was on the verge of taking off. as entrepreneurs, as as
Yeah.
city
I mean, there was
which
a
has a
polo,
future.
the international polo tournament there. The Miss India was held there. There were so
Yeah,
many. In fact, Manipur was coming up in a very big way. In fact, and suddenly this. So sorry to see this.
it
I
is
mean,
not sudden. It's not
yeah, I
suddenly.
know.
It has been planned. We also thought it was
Oh,
sudden. It wasn't. The provocation, the name calling had started long time back. And we cookies thought, ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. We are indigenous to the land, so we don't give a damn. I'm like, बोल क्या रहा है? पागल है क्या? But we should have fought back because now they have woken up a giant. The cookies will speak for any atrocities across the globe now. We are a giant that has been woken up, dragon for justice, not only for us, anybody across the globe. That's us now. So this war has robbed us a lot. Has We have lost a lot, but we also gained so much. We have gained in terms of finding our voice for injustice anywhere across the globe. We're not going to be still. My people who are on Twitter fighting day in day out, my young comrades, I'm proud of them. Initially, a cookie will look at atrocities committed against a Hindu or a Muslim and say, ये बहुत दूर की बात है, हम तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट में हैं, हमारा क्या लेना देना है. Not anymore. Anywhere, any atrocity, we said, this is my pain. That is what they have woken up. And India is much better because we have woken up. And the Maitais need to wake up. Other Indians have to wake up. So we used to look at our Muslim brothers suffering, or some Hindu, right, people who speak the right, and then some majoritarian, idea being thrust upon them. We will look at them and say कि that is not my problem. तो हमारा ये मणिपुर का जो स्थिति है ना, it's like the Nazi का जो होता है. They came for the teacher. I'm not a teacher, so I keep quiet. They came for the philosopher. I'm not a philosopher. I kept quiet. They came for this. They came for that. I'm not that, so I kept quiet. Last minute they came for me, and there was no one to speak up for me. वही हो रहा है. I've been warning my Meitei friends. Once they are done with us, they'll be looking for a Meitei or anybody they find, because these are serial rapists and murderers. They'll do it. They'll extort money. They'll come to your house, knock the door, and say, I need help. Give me 1 lakh. If you don't give, they'll show you the guns. That is what is happening right now. Now in More, you're aware of what is happening in More, right, Ali?
correct. Right.
The state which is supposed to ensure that there is peace in the land, now the one that they have lost their legitimate authority to rule the hills. Because how do you rule, or how do you send a police force which is which has legitimately lost its face? Because people don't trust them, and they have been complicit, they have been found to be biased. How do they have that legitimate power? Now if I see the army coming, if I know that they're here to shoot me, what would I do? I'll shoot them back, right? But in the case of Manipur commandos, the cookies are thankful to the Central Forces and Assam Rifles and the Assam Regiment. Why? Because they stuck up for what is right and what they are supposed to do as an army man: protect the weak and don't take side. The Manipur commanders are found to be, taking sides. That is what is being reported from the ground. I haven't seen them, so I won't give a sweeping statement. But then the Meitei, they call the youngsters call the Meitei commandos, which might not be the best but these commandos, who during those better times, even when Manipur was at a better times, these were preying on the Meitei innocents, maybe in the name of underground. These commandos, they are nobody's brothers or nobody's friends. They have done fake encounters of Meiteis. Now Meiteis are okay because they come and torture us. Is that fair? In More, they are behaving like brutes. You have seen those pictures of they smashing vehicles of innocent people, going into people's house and vandalizing it. And you have seen that picture of Peter Mate. ऐसा मारा, सब बॉडी फूल गया उसका, यहाँ फूला वहाँ फूला. What do we do? Now there are volunteers who are there to defend themselves. But the disrespect shown to More, Any other Kuki Hill district, Saikul, Kangpupi, you know, even Tingnopal, even Lamka, they have no guts to send those commandos to those areas. And why did they send to More? Are the cookies in More Nikama hai kya? Are they provoking them? What are we doing? Can we solve this politically, and then maybe if you're still a part of Manipur, can we send the Manipur commandos after that? We have the central army, the army and the central armed forces, so they can probably send a woman contingent for peace. Why are they sending a commando? Commandos are not even kind to the Meiteis in peacetime, who have been doing fake encounters. That is what is being reported in the Supreme Court findings. So why are they being sent to More? That is a question the CM has to answer, and the Home Minister of the country has to answer. What is he doing? Do we really want peace, or do you really want to use a legitimate force, a illegal purpose? To send a force which is not welcome by the citizen of this country is an infringement on human rights itself, right? आपके घर में, if you don't trust the BSF, there are the CRPF. I'll probably have to tell you, Mr. Ali, I'm sending the CRPF, but please they have to do a search of your own. This is our house. They don't want the commandos. उनके ऊपर में थोप दिया गया. And these people have been smashing their houses, beating up women and children. And when they said, we don't want these commandos, please send the central armed forces. वो बोल रहा है कि नहीं प्रोसीजर है. इस देश में क्या प्रोसीजर है भाई? कुछ भी नहीं होता है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा है, we the people is the source of all power. We the people in More say we don't want the commandos. और क्या चाहिए? आवाज तो it's very clear. We don't want the commandos. That is what the people of More is saying. I'm not saying. तो सुनो ना भाई. I don't know. Sometimes I really lost hope on this country, but then I think we are built on much stronger stuff. Foundation is strong. So we are a country of Gandhi. तो ये याद करना पड़ेगा ना, गांधी का देश है. We have the army. Doesn't mean we also can fight everything with non-violence. Army है for a reason. But then basically we are strong in the world because we are a country which follows the ideals of Gandhiji, right?
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
So my appeal to to all Indians and to the Home Minister, to the Prime Minister, even to somebody I don't like because I find him complicit, the CM of Manipur. Please withdraw the commandos. Let us end this stalemate in peace. You have been provoking the volunteers so much. If they start losing their youngsters who haven't slept for months, if they lose their cool and release whatever firearm they have to protect themselves on those people, and if you have so, and even Indian Assam Rifle, that is what they respect. That's why they're not shooting, perhaps. But if Assam Rifles get hurt, and if the Kuki civilian, you know, gets affected, then the the kind of gap, the kind of misunderstanding between the Indian armed forces and the common Kuki Zoo population be very high. Let us not do that. Let us try to build bridges. Let us try to bring peace. What are we doing? The CM himself not in More, but I can feel the palpable provocation that is being done to the population there. Yeah, thanks, Ali.
No, no. Definitely. I'm just so sorry. Please pardon me, forgive me. And I really want to hear you more. And no,
What would you like to hear?
yes,
Let us talk something better, something nice. That is, More is an important place for all of us, not only for the cookies. Maybe it's for all Indians. That is the pivot from where we're going to reach the Southeast Asian market. I'm an MBA from FMS Delhi, right? Whatever I know, it's an important place.
in our time, there was a strong presence of the army and the Assam Rifles in More. I
We
don't know how it is
have a
now.
hole in the South Asian market. No, it's a very important place. That is our gateway
Right.
to the Southeast Asian
And
markets.
and there were a lot of
And the
Tamil
Southeast Asian,
restaurants. There's some Tamil restaurants over there as well. You get idli and
obviously,
sambar.
obviously.
You get idli and
Yeah,
sambar
yeah.
over there. in More, and
and the
across
Kuki,
was Tamil, across Burma.
yeah,
There was a red and white
Tammu
brick.
is basically, yeah, it's a twin city, and Tammu is basically a mixed city where a lot of Kukis live, and a lot of Chinese are also there. All right. So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I want to. I think government of India should consult one professor, Thongkulal Haukip. He wrote in his paper about the Act East policy. It was Look East policy at that time. He said, "How can you exclude China if you want to grow as an economic power? And politics or geopolitics should be, taken apart or looked apart from economics."
you're talking about the MLA.
No, I'm talking about a professor
Okay.
in JNU. He said, if we have to succeed in the Look East policy,
Oh, you're talking about
Chinese are the biggest market.
Professor Hawkins.
Yes,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
JNU.
yeah.
So he wrote a
I've
very
just
nice
got
thesis on the.
consulted in panels with him.
No, he wrote a very nice thesis on the Act East policy or the Look East policy. He said geopolitics keep it aside for now, but if you want to really reach the South Asian market, and if you want to grow the economy of the Northeast, government of India should probably use the manufacturing power that China has, and probably include China the manufacturing site and build a road towards Kunming or Hunan, and use this Northeast as a route for trade. Trade and politics, I think, should be kept bit separate. Geopolitics ठीक है, but trade is trade. वहाँ पे जब economies of scale or economies of arbitrage मिलता है वही करना चाहिए. So that was his contention. I think I agree with him, and that is brilliant to me, right? So More is very important, and not just More, peaceful More, where the local population would be peaceful and would allow other people also to coexist and engage in trade. And that's somewhere where we can increase our GDP maybe 5x in 2 years or maybe in 1 year's time if it is peaceful. So I don't know why the government of Manipur under Biren is hell bent on sending commandos to More when they're not welcome. Maybe they look at it as a future economic hub, but that land belongs to the Kuki Zoo people. नहीं मिलेगा इसको. You can't just tell us that this is government of Manipur. Where is the healthcare? Where is the supplies? No, they've been blocked from Infal. When you don't act as a government, don't give me that crap that you're now acting like a legitimate government. You're not. Now we have to have a political settlement. Then perhaps the Manipur commando, the Manipur army can come, Manipur police can come. But why do we need commando? As it is, the commandos are a malign force in Manipur. Even the Meiteis don't like them. They have killed a lot of innocent Meiteis in fake encounters. That is what the Supreme Court, one of the filings on extrajudicial killing shows. It's not my words. That's what I saw in the report. And I'm quoting from that report. So FIR करना है तो Supreme Court को पहले FIR करना पड़ेगा. Now, what is wrong with Manipur? I don't know. It has become FIR pur. I heard they filed an FIR with the UN also. I don't know if that was a joke. Was it? अब अब क्या हो रहा है? Like, if people write something in history, अरे उसको debunk करो ना भाई. Why did you file an FIR? I mean, firefight is funny. I don't know. FIR poor बन गया भाई. And a wonderful
Yeah, that's true. That's
place
true.
is now known across the world as a place where people carry guns. It's worse than Afghanistan right now. Infal is kind of okay, but then if you look at the corners in Infal, people are roaming with guns. And Ali, you are an army guy. You know how can 6,000 to 5,000 arms, if they're looted and if in the hands of the public, how do you expect peace to return? कहीं ना कहीं the fire will be, the bullets will fly, right? People cannot work because Infal is like a pawn, right? The hills are like walls to that pawn. Now, those places have to coexist, but they have done so much harm to the psyche of the hill tribes, especially the Kukizo. They find it difficult to coexist with these people. I mean, like, they see the Meiteis in the image of those rapists and lynchers. So they can't even think of, coexisting with them. That is a sad part. But now what do we do? Then we have to come for a political solution. Otherwise, do we fight forever? No. Even the Nazis, under Hitler, with all their firepower, cannot eradicate the Jews. They have a final solution. And they are attempting that, I guess. The fail coup and everything, and the fail, genocide that they're doing. But I think sense is prevailing now. Some of the Meiteis are also there, seeing that we can't finish this in a war because there's no point. Because the very premise of these fightings are wrong. The Meitei is thinking that Infal is shrinking, and then they can grab lands by force. That premise is wrong by itself. So I hope sense prevail, and then we come to a negotiating table. Government, if they should be wiser than what they are now.
Right.
In their wisdom, they have so many wonderful people. They can't find a solution to Manipur. I can't believe that. We have a strongest army. What are we doing in Manipur? छोटा सा जगह तो है. We can clamp it down. मैंने तो बोल दिया. Some 8 months back, I told them, मणिपुर को लॉकडाउन करो भाई. कोविड में लॉकडाउन किया तो पूरा इंडिया चुप बैठा घर में. Instead of killing each other and fighting, lockdown Manipur. That's what I told them. बहुत
Right.
सिंपल सोल्यूशन, लॉकडाउन करो. उसके बाद जो भी रेपीज है, मोलेस्टर्स है, पीपल ऑफ मिसक्रेंट्स, उसको पकड़ लो. खत्म बात ना. ये होम मिनिस्टर होने का जरूरत नहीं. I'm a
Right.
simple man with simple ideas. Implement करो, हो गया. If you can't even do that, please don't take the name of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. यार, शर्म की बात है. I'm not
Right.
I'm not deriding the home minister, but I find it shameful when they take the name of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and you can't solve a small state like Manipur's problem. He didn't
Right.
attempt it. Peace committee भी कैसा कैसा किया?
Oh
They didn't
God.
even
What do you
call up
ask?
these people. The
That
people
peace committee
they didn't
was,
even
oh
tell them.
God. What do I say?
It's like Hitler, who is like killing the Jews, put in a peace committee in the Second World War. The same thing. The cookies are saying that Biren is killing us. Biren is siding with the extremists, and they're putting Biren's name in the peace committee. What does that sound? It doesn't even sound funny anymore. It's
Right.
hilarious. How can a
Right. Right.
peace committee be formed like that?
Right.
I
Len.
don't know whoever drafted that, the bureaucrat whoever drafted that. I don't know if he had sleepless nights or if he even think he is a bureaucrat. He's not even qualified to probably be a clerk.
God.
I'm
Okay,
not being
Len.
arrogant here,
Len, it
but
was
then that's a
wonderful.
fact.
It was
Huh?
wonderful being in conversation with you. It's past 12, it's midnight, and it's the
Yeah.
9th of January 2024. And I hope the new year, in fact, is good for all of us. Though I know for a fact that the New Year's did not start on a very peaceful note in Manipur. I wish and I hope and pray that it is peaceful from now on. Thank you so much, Lynn. It
Yeah, yeah.
was
Thank you so
so
much,
nice of
Ali.
you.
Thank you so much. Let's pray for a peaceful Manipur. And there are people waking up. People waking up that peace is the only way. There is no other way. We are defending ourselves, so
Ab-
it is not in our hands. So pray for us, Ali. Things will be all right. God is there.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for such a positive interview. Very
Yeah,
nice of you.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. God
Thank you.
bless. Yeah,
Thank you, Lynn.
yeah.